to the Wednesday rep recap. Shaur and
You got it right
Preston.
this time.
I did. I've been working on it.
Practicing it in the mirror, just standing there, just being like, recap, the
Recap.
recap,
The rep
the
recap.
recap, the rep
Yeah, thanks
recap.
for
We
being
can
here.
make a
Thanks for
tongue
hanging
twister
out. I'm excited to dive into some more Central Region games for the RMUC. Honestly, the closer and closer we get to RMNA, the more hype I am just in general for RoboMasters. I'm so glad we're doing this many streams.
Oh yeah.
I hope you guys are feeling the same. I hope this is helping build the hype and getting you excited for RoboMasters this year. I need to ship stuff out of my house. I can't believe we're only like 2 weeks away. Absolutely wild.
Yeah, Preston, it's really, really close. I've been going through and okay, so first off, I'm gonna applaud myself a little bit. We've actually started posting content again on the RMNA channel, and that has been me on there. That short. That short is very nice. I'm very proud of it personally. But yeah, making all this content and reading, watching all the old VODs, practicing my own streaming skills, practicing my own commentating skills has made me just so excited to see what's gonna happen at this year's comp. There's so many things that could happen. Anyways, this comp is definitely gonna be one to sit down and take in and just look back on and be like, this is probably the foundational I would say this is going to be the most important competition that we've ever had, just by pure numbers and pure competition level, right? I feel like all the teams are so much higher level now. I look at the 2021 VODs, I'm like, people weren't moving. 2022, everyone forgot a Sentry at home, and the ones that didn't won. And then 2025, we're here. Everyone will have at least 3 robots. They may not be perfect. Some of them will still break on the match, but those 3 robots will be there. And that's impressive. I think we're going to have some great group matches, for example. I think we're going to have some group upsets. Regardless,
Yeah,
that's all in 2 weeks.
it is.
Today, Preston, what are we up to?
Okay, today we have the Central Region, and I know the whole reason we started Question of the Day is so that we didn't do these rambles.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of started it, so I just want to say before we dig into RMUC, I think we might be in. You know how they say you wish you could recognize the good old days before they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Chat, take a second. If you're watching this VOD, just sit in it for a minute. I think these are, in my opinion, the best years. Last year, this year, next year, the best years of RMNA competition. I think it will continue to improve, right? Everything's going to get better and bigger, and we're going to have multiple fields and right, maybe regionals for RMNA, and production's going to continue getting awesomer. So let me explain a little bit, but what I mean by best. Watching the 10th anniversary of RMUC competition matches like we're about to see, while just like Shaur, right? When I made the Heavy as the Crown video, it has clips from every year. When I did that UW Dominance podcast, I went and watched every semifinals and finals for all 5 years. Going back and watching it, I think this year and next year will be one of the last years where the teams are playing against each other 100%. I watch RMUC and I think the teams are playing against the game a little bit more than they're playing against the opposite team, right? It really comes down to who has the more proper strategy and who can execute that strategy more precisely and with better robots and better engineering and better strats. And then there's the coaching and the overarching strategy of can you adapt, right? It becomes more like a chess game where you have your preferred opening and mid game, but if your opponent does something else, you need to switch how you're gonna play. So that's just I'll keep it short. We'll keep it quick.
We've got I feel like that's something we should definitely talk about in our game design. Whatever we do. We keep saying this. Chat, let us know when you want us to do it.
That'll give us a few days.
Sunday?
Yeah, maybe Sunday.
I'm down. I could do Sunday.
I could do Sunday.
We could do
I
Sunday.
think really it's just me you writing down a bunch of notes. I might have John on for a segment. Shaur, if you know of any other teams that have a strategic coach, I would love to meet another. I want them to be like a legitimate coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not like hey, I'm the team president, so I technically am in charge.
Yep.
But if you have anyone else or chat, if your team has a strategic coach, I would love to interview other team coaches and figure out from their perspective on game design and also their perspective on the coaching role in RoboMasters. It's a legitimate role in RMUC. And speaking of RMUC, check out these crazy games we've got today. First up is going to be WMJ versus Helios.
Ooh, exciting. I believe this is one of the group matches still, correct?
Yes,
Probably.
this
We'll
should be
find
a
out
group
soon.
match. Oh, I lied. First up, it's going to be Born of
Born
Fire
of
versus
Fire
TUP.
versus TUP.
Still working on my
Even better.
Chinese. Sorry, guys.
That's more than what I can say. I have not started learning Chinese. Everyone else on the operators is starting to learn Chinese, and I'm like, I really need to as well because I can't be behind on this.
Yeah, honestly, same. Hey, Red
Thank you,
Surprise.
Red
Thanks so much for the
Surprise.
follow. Guys, we are keeping a constant schedule, which is freaking awesome, very impressive.
We're
So
doing
Sundays,
good.
Mondays, and Wednesdays we'll be here streaming, but make sure you subscribe and hit that notification button so that it pings you, just in case we do bonus streaming or you forget about our awesome schedule.
Those of you on YouTube as well, hit that subscribe button. Also ring the bell there. Put a like, put a comment. You can rewatch these VODs as much as you want. You can tell us that we're saying the most incorrect stuff. Correct us. Leave questions of the day there as well for us to cover later on. We do one question of the day every day. And so if you would like us to do your question, we do 150 of them a year. We're going to get to it eventually. Throw it in that comment section. We'll grab it from there.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Preston, here we are. Born of Fire versus TUP. We are in the Central Region. And as it stands, I'm a little less impressed with the Central Region than I was with the Southern Region. I feel like the matches at least we've picked out, the drones aren't as like powerful. The sentries are a little bit better, I will say. We're seeing a lot of robot malfunctions in general. Like I'm thinking of that game we watched Monday where the hero just wasn't able to fire when it could have won them the game. But looking at these bots here, TUP's Sentry looking pretty solid, looking pretty good. I like the omnidirectional drive here. That's not Mechanum, right? That's Omni.
Yeah, it's Omni.
Yep, that's Omni. I'm learning. See, chat, even a programmer, even a code monkey can learn Grease.
I am really intrigued by the variety in Sentry design. I think that's where we're seeing the widest variety of robotic innovation mechanically.
Oh, yeah.
One barrel versus two barrel, like huge changes in design for the Sentries.
Mm-hmm. Also, look at how tall this Sentry is. That's a LiDAR, I would assume, strapped to the top.
That's the that very top thing.
That's the
beveled
module.
Corners is the GPS monitoring module from the ref system.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Thank you, Red Surprise, for your belief in me that I can turn a wrench.
Look at that.
Here you have the Red Hero.
The Red Hero, and it does look like it has some type of roller on the top and bottom of that tube.
Yeah.
It's cool that the tube's so open and exposed. That's where most of the hero jamming occurs. So for the next 3 weeks, when you hear me and Shaur talking about a hero jamming, it's in this tube where the projectiles are funneled up to the top.
Yeah.
That is that was super clean. We're going to look at that one more time, chat.
Mm-hmm.
So
do a little replay.
Being able to go one projectile at a time is also extremely difficult with these hero projectiles. You'll see, especially the younger teams and the RMUC teams, accidentally double firing sometimes, or having delay, but you can see how this moves almost exactly one ball spacing each time the robot fires. You can see it marked by those black lines going horizontally on the tube. That was really, really impressive. They've got to have some sort of indexer, because I'm going to ramble for 16 more seconds. You might think you just need to turn the feed motor, right, the same degrees, but that's not always true. Your feed system can sometimes get like a gap in it. Sometimes you will have like one empty slot from a projectile, especially with the hero projectiles that are so large. Also, turning a certain amount of degrees is difficult because that's going to be from like an encoder perspective instead of just like a run, you know, like an on-off for a certain amount of time. That gets a little bit more into Shaur's realm, right? But depending on the motor they're using to turn that, it might not be quite as simple. And then there's going to be some slop and some mechanical slop in that in the motor and the gearbox and whatever thing they're using to drive their projectile.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of code involved in all that process too, which I would love to get into. But I think we're about to start this game in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Match start. We have Born of Fire versus TUP. Born of Fire in the red, TUP on the blue. Both engineers are going for the gold cubes. This is a interesting strategy. We haven't seen the gold cube strat a lot. A lot of the teams have only been going for the silver cubes out the gate. A little bit easier, I think, to get. You still get a good amount of econ. It gives you the initial burst you need. Well, here we see some engagements already. Red Standard 4 and Blue Standard 4 fighting each other at the very front. The Blue Engineer is a little bit slower to the central point, and therefore can't really get access to the Blue cubes without putting himself in danger. The Red Drone is out as well, doing some shots to the outpost, but also trying to just kill the Engineer at the moment.
I was about to say, if Blue Standard 4 makes it out of there, he's an absolute goat. It's like a 1v4. The hero for the red team, Born of Fire, just chunking away at the outpost in the meantime. Blue Standard 4 will go down, and now the red team moving on to Blue Standard 3 using this numbers advantage, and now the level lead they've gained from that kill and the damage dealt, and they will take down Blue Standard 3, an early lead for Born of Fire as the outpost falls.
Huge lead for Born of Fire. You've got a crazy
engineer too. We don't see a lot of early engineers fall.
Blue Standard 4 only just now reviving, and that was the first one to go. Blue Standard 3 gets revived packed from afar. Blue Standard 4 and Red Standard 4 having a little bit of a collision there. Blue Standard 4 really wants to get back to the healing zone, get some health, get some projectiles. But with already some leveled up standards, it's a little bit trickier now for you if you're on the blue side. It's not lost though yet. You know, the level of end aren't really as bad as they used to be.
From TUP, the hero for TUP fired several projectiles, I think 5 projectiles at the outpost, struggled to hit those spinning armor panels. Shaur, these low-level bots that have the animated sparks around them, those sparks are fake. Oh my goodness, as the red hero is starting to demonstrate the Born of Fire accuracy.
Oh, almost. There we go. 2 out of 3. Pretty solid.
I was going to say, it seems like when they have that super low health revived sparks that they move slower. I wonder if there's a chassis powered debuff for a recently revived bot.
It definitely could be. I will grab the rules manual to double check for RMUC. The engineer going down yet again. This is really stunting the econ. You look at the econ between Born of Fire and TUP. TUP is about 1,000 less, and that's because their engineer keeps getting knocked out when it's picking up that gold cube. The Red Standard 4 is really prioritizing making sure that no resources can get back to TUP, so they can't start mounting a comeback in any capacity.
Red Standard
and
4,
now
Red
the
Standard 3 took out Blue Standard 4, now they're moving on to the hero. They're able to take out the blue hero. These blue bots need to be a bit more respectful. That level 1 Blue Standard had no right to be into the middle island.
Red Standard 3 and Blue Standard 4 now attacking each other. Blue Standard 4 really should just move up onto that island there, take the defense buff, but it's not going to yet. Oh, and Red Standard 3
takes out Red Standard 3. Oh my gosh.
Face.
He's breakdancing.
Red Standard 3 falls straight onto his head, unable to move now for the rest of the match.
Oh, Red Standard 3 ray gun. My goodness.
It may not even matter though, because this red hero is completely uncontestable at the moment. Blue Standard 3 is incredibly low. Blue Standard 4 is just now getting back, trying to take out Red Standard 3. A little bit of a misplay here. If I'm Blue Standard 4, I really want to go and put some pressure on that hero.
Oh my word, they're not going to have time. The hero.
They're not going to have time anymore though. Born of Fire isn't a projectile. Maybe they did the quick math there and realized they couldn't move.
Blue Standard 3 trying to oppose, but he's on level 1. Red Standard 4, I think, not really taking advantage of that strong level lead, is chasing down Blue Hero, though. Blue Hero 1 falls to Red Standard 4. He continues to push. He's got a lot of projectiles in the bank, and that will be enough. The Red Hero finishes it off. The Blue base falls, and Born of Fire takes round 1.
A great round 1 from both teams. Really funny that Red Standard 3 just, decided to do a little bit of a spin move and try to do a front flip onto the opponent's field. Did not work out for it. This is why you got to practice that in on the mat instead of on the field. But, it's probably going to be fine. I like that it flipped exactly 180 degrees to land on its head. I think it's incredibly funny.
Yeah, that was...
The dynamics of that are very interesting to me. I wonder mechanically how that ends up happening. Looking at the stat screen here, though, as we see, Born of Fire just did so much more damage and got so much more econ. I think the econ was really what got them. Born of Fire was able to knock out the TUP engineer multiple times, causing them to not be able to get the gold cube that they wanted to get, putting them super behind in econ. You can't buy as many projectiles as you see. They shot way less in the bottom, which means you can't get the eliminations, can't do the damage. You're completely out of luck if you're losing the econ game this bad.
I've paused the stat screen for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I think this may be the highest efficiency we've seen from a team.
42
millimeter projectiles, 817 millimeter projectiles for 8,000 damage.
Oh yeah, incredible efficiency, incredible accuracy. I really am curious who the MVP ends up being, because I feel like that hero accuracy must be like maybe like 70-80% maybe.
I'm gonna go with 65. I'm gonna go 65% accuracy.
I think I'm gonna go with 80% accuracy. It looked really high to me. Anyways, we're going to watch a little bit of the replay here. There goes the outpost in this first part of the replay. That's that hero accuracy coming into attack. And look at that, just shot after shot after shot.
There were 3 or 4, I think it's right here, 3 or 4 really rapid back-to-back hits. There it is. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3,
beautiful.
there's 4, there's 5, there's 6. I mean, my goodness. That's most of the base health in one foul swoop.
Yeah, there's that. Oh my gosh, Preston, you're exactly on the mark. 65% accuracy. Quickest maths in the West, man.
40 projectiles. I mean, you know, 40 projectiles at 300 damage apiece, right? It means the math just maths.
Math's just maths. I did not do that quick math nearly as well as you did. I went, it's probably about 80%.
Mostly a guess, but really, really impressive from all of the teams. Look how beautiful that hero is too. So well finished mechanically. If we can get a better camera angle, I wonder if it's one of the 45-degree angle flywheels. There are some teams that instead of running flywheels that are parallel with one another, run them actually 90 degrees from each other and 45 from the vertical.
Yeah. We have seen that, and then also that leads into the triple flywheel design. We've seen a couple of teams do as well. Try and make it so they lose less and less. Yep. Those try and lose less and less energy converting into those balls. That way they can fire them more rapid fire and get more damage to the base. Like we saw with that 6 balls in a row that all landed. Look at these engineers as well. The engineers are nothing to scoff at either. Both engineers are really solid. I wish that we got to see more from TPU or TUP's engineer. It did get knocked out a lot in that beginning. I think the central area was a misplay for that engineer. I hope they adapt in this round and are able to go to the silver cubes instead. I feel like that'll be better for them overall. You've got to at least get some econ. And you can't really contest the center as it stands with your own standards. I don't think that you'll be able to diff the other ones for Board of Fire. So I think the best course of action to change your rollout here is to play a tiny bit more defensively at the very beginning to set yourself up with the econ you need to get those hero shots landed, because you probably have worse accuracy as well with your hero. And make sure that your standards can poke the other red hero instead of losing the level lead so fast and being knocked out so early in the game.
Engineer for TUP is quite large.
Quite large. It's not quite the backpack design either we've seen. It's more close to the front pack we saw on the E-Cut engineer.
Several years ago, and I think I've been off the team now for long enough, I can say whatever, and it's been 4 years, so I don't think it matters to their current plans or designs. But several years ago, Texas A&M's engineer design was to actually take the cube internally, and then it had basically conveyor belts inside to be able to manipulate the cube inside of the belly. Because that was back when you had to scan the barcode on the bottom of the cube, but they were randomly oriented when they dropped. So that way, right, you'd grab it, you'd kind of eat the cube, and then spit it out in the correct orientation. That's what that blue engineer reminds me of.
That makes a lot of sense. All right, 4, 3, 2, 1. Board of Fire versus TUP, round 2. We'll see what ends up happening in this one. As I predicted, TUP does go for the silver cubes instead. Needs to get any amount of econ just to stay competitive instead of falling behind that fast so early on and getting snowballed. Board of Fire continuing their rollout strat, going straight to the center. Blue center 4 this time, looking for the hero, looking to fire at the red center 3 and to defend their own hero, it looks like. Shots being exchanged. We did not see a drone on the TUP side. They do not seem to be fielding one this time, which means that they do have a huge disadvantage there as well. The blue outpost getting a lot of its damage taken out by both. Look at the accuracy of that drone on top of the hero as well there. It's going to knock it out in this next shot. Next one. There we go. Outpost is down. This means that now the hero is going to move into a more sniping position. Blue Center 4 did, however, get knocked out by Red Center 3, which is going to be quite bad for them. The drone is a lot less capable of taking out the blue engineer. And it's not struggling a little bit with that silver cube, though.
Uh-oh. The blue engineer looks like it does not have the degrees of freedom necessary to pick up that silver cube off the floor. This is something we saw... Oh, prove me wrong.
Maybe.
Please. There we go.
Maybe it can. Seems to be sucking it up.
Excellent.
Blue Center 3, 3v1ing here,
1v2
fighting both.
Island.
Don't forget the drone also there, Preston. That's essentially a 3v1.
Push back to the base. Makes it back to the base, so he will not fall. Some XP still going across, though. Remember, the red team gaining XP for launching projectiles and dealing damage.
We're seeing that hero now lining up those shots, trying to hit them. It lands 1, lands 2, and I think it'll keep landing for a while now.
Yeah, notably, the blue hero has now launched 8 projectiles at the outpost and is yet to land 1. An unfortunate accuracy issue. Red
Blue
Standard
Standard
4 pushing
3
up, going to take
trying
it.
to
Trying to defend their red hero. Good move from Blue Standard 3. I appreciate, you know, the defense. Trying not to allow that red hero to fire freely. And
a
he
little bit
didn't
late
die
because
for
Red
it.
Hero was out of Imperials anyways, so was probably leaving. But you know, good to pressure it. Good pressure.
Yeah, it's good to
Blue
let
Standard 4,
them
however,
know that
does
you
get
know.
knocked out by Red Standard 3. And is Blue Standard 4 stuck in like a curb down there? Oh, it's in the little tunnel there. Blue Standard 3 now trying to 1v1 the Red Standard 3. Red Standard 3 has such a huge level advantage, though, comparably. It's going to be difficult to get anything around here. Look at this sniper cam that we're seeing here from the Red Hero. That's a really interesting like scope design.
Yeah, I love how clean the view is. It's really interesting. You'll notice the offset. This is something a lot of teams deal with. The camera is not directly above the barrel. You actually have to fire projectiles slightly off. I think that hit percentage is going to be substantially down from 65% for the red team.
Yeah, missing those 6 shots in a row was a little unfortunate, but they seem to be lined up now. So,
However, they are Red Standard 3 getting into a skerfuffle over the curb. Blue Standard 3 is retreating, but he's got to be careful. This is a place where a lot of robots fall. Nicely done to get out of that confrontation. 2v1. Now the blue sentry, no longer sweeping, no longer scanning.
And Red Standard 3 is just going to ignore it, I guess. Not taking any time to waste projectiles on it. Wants to play the game. Knows that it's not worth it to take the XP. It has a lot more health than most of the robots. You might as well like kill something that's a little more valuable for the team.
Trying to fight the actually has no projectiles.
Oh, it has no projectiles.
Yeah. This is a strategy I implemented when I was driving in China as well. When you don't have projectiles, but you have a strong level lead, you can still drive around the enemy base while you're waiting for gold. As long as you don't die or give over a large amount of XP, you can pressure the team just with your actual physical presence.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's taking positioning, just like in Overwatch. Both of the standards are now getting resupplies packs, though, and have projectiles now. They're going to wreak havoc here as the hero is going to continue to rain fire from above. That's why they call them Born of Fire.
Spinning on the outpost, TUP starting to catch back up, getting the outpost of Born of Fire down to 100 points. There's a chance, a very slim chance, but there is a chance for TUP. If they can get that outpost down, they could make a desperate push. Oh, if a dart landed, that would have gone a long way.
Landed. That would have gone a long way. They have another one going.
Blue Standard 3 engaged with the drone, but again, not able to fight back as Red Standard 4 chews through Blue Hero 1 and takes him out. That will probably spell doom for TUP. Another hero death. That's 30 seconds till revival that needs to go back to the base before he can launch projectiles to try to take down the outpost and then shoot through the base. It's too long of a road to travel.
Absolutely, Preston. Red Standard 3 and Blue Standard 4 and Red Standard 4 are just going to continue to harass the whole team here. They're stuck in their own base. They can't really go anywhere.
Up the base.
Yep. Look at how much map control Born of Fire has here. Both standards on either entry and exit to the blue side. Blue team can't really get through. They're lacking the level advantage. Born of Fire keeps dropping supply packs to make everyone have more ammo. This
should spell the end. Born of Fire made a really clever move there not to move their hero at all. It's already lined up in 3 more shots, 3 more hits, buffing those stats and taking down the win. Born of Fire carried again by their hero Shirley, who will become MVP round for round.
In a 2-0 decisive victory, Born of Fire takes it over to UP. Really solid hero play in general. Like, that accuracy is nothing to scoff at. I think lacking a drone on the TUP side and just in general, just having a little bit worse technology there with that engineer, not being able to keep up with the econ, those 2 things really, really cemented that Born of Fire would be the one to take this round. And as we see here, coming in again, 650 to 2050 gold. It's like you can't even shoot anything. They had 66-17 ammo shot entirely, and they couldn't buy more ammo. It was very difficult for them to be able to even be in the actual fight. So yeah, I understand why this is a pretty difficult thing to do. They did almost knock out the outpost this time, which is something to be said for how little econ they had.
It is. TUP. I can relate. It's a struggle. If your engineer can't get you extra gold, the passive gold is not enough to be competitive against most mid and top tier teams in the Central region. Born of Fire looked good even against. I think this would have held up even against a better team. Looking back at some of the highlights here, you can see even during the highlights of other robots, the hero gaining that last resupply that Shaur pointed out, didn't move an inch from his previous barrage allowed him to just hit 3 in a row, close it out quick.
And there we go. There's that hero accuracy that it did drop a little bit because it missed those 6 shots in a row, but otherwise still very solid accuracy. We were seeing about 50-40% throughout all the central region, and that was considered good accuracy. So this is absolutely phenomenal accuracy, in my opinion, regardless of how many shots you missed in that barrage. Truly Born of Fire was able to rain the fire. Makes a lot of sense to their name. Next, we're moving on to Passion versus RoboWalker.
Yeah, you know, I was really surprised. Real quick before we switch over, I was really surprised from the heads-up display view of that hero from Born of Fire that they didn't have any sort of indicator where the barrel was. I think if you're going to have your camera shifted from your barrel position, you should put a marker, or like your own crosshair you can put on the heads-up display to mark that. Something to think about if you're building a RoboMaster spot to be competitive.
Yeah.
好的，大门已经缓缓开启，我们可以看到双方的同学都已经陆陆续续的进场了。刚刚在赛场上也听到了他们的强大的口号的声音，相信他们对本次的比赛信心是非常的大，也是摩拳擦掌，想要拿下一个非常不错的成绩。
是的，感觉都是势在必得啊！这第一场的胜利，
2 drones coming in onto the field, 2 engineers, 2 sentries, a full lineup for both teams, which is good. I like to see a little more of an even match there when it comes to robot variety and skill. I like to see all the robots on each side. You know, we keep saying at RMUC, the most interesting robot matches are the 3v3s, right? We have all 3 robots from both sides functioning, even if they're not necessarily the same caliber. It's good to have them just on the field fighting each other, doing what they do. It's more interesting to watch. I'll bring up the Google Translate so we can try and see if we can grab these little designations here. Grab it quick enough. 2023 National Champion, top 32, and 2024 National Champion, top 4. Passion, an incredibly strong team, has made it to the Nationals multiple times, has gotten top 32 in 2023, has now gotten top 24, or sorry, top 4 last year. Definitely a force to be reckoned with. RoboWalker, however, no slouch either. Similar in 2023, they made it to top 32, and in 2024, they were in the top 16. So both teams were really strong, definitely ones that have probably met before as well. We'll see what they end up doing to each other in this upcoming match. Looking at these robot designs, look at that engineer, Preston. Is that thing upside down? Do you see that? Look how tall it is. Oh my gosh, and it's retracted back into a cube. It's compacted itself like Wally.
创造性的是这个7轴机械臂加这个后抬升的一个构型。那么林克老师，您觉得这个7轴机械臂它会对于这个
I hope they zoom in on that. That thing looks super cool. It's like popping its head up like a turtle out of its shell. First, however, we'll take a look at the Passion hero here, opening up some innards to try and load up some balls, tying it down so nothing falls out, I assume. They are called the heroes, so that does make sense.
These aren't totally outlandish, but they are unique choices that have very specific pros and cons.
虽然你采用了一个7轴的机械臂，第一个你要保证你自己这个控制是很好。那在这个基础上，如果你控制做得越好，你这个同步做得非常的不错，那你就一定会有更好的这样的一个收益。
That Blue Engineer also like incredibly small, like very densely compacted. And we saw it could raise itself up. I'm curious why it starts in such a small configuration. I wonder if it's going to try to make a play. Because look, it looks kind of like the Sentry's height, maybe, at this point in time. And I feel like it's like half the hero's height here. So I'm curious to see why the case they designed it that way. And why we choose that.
我们看到基地护甲已经缓缓闭合，我们的比赛马上开始。接下来我们把时间交给现场解说。
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they'll actually be able to do so. Referee system initialization. I saw some balancing robots as well, which makes me personally very excited. I'm a big balancing standard fan, balancing robot in general fan.
Yeah, on a similar topic to the last game, I noticed some of the standards had their cameras next to their barrel, not above it at all.
这里是 B 组瑞士轮第一轮的第一场比赛，由南昌大学对战中国科学技术大学。
Oh, and Absolute Engineer is going up the ramp. It's able to do it so quickly. Well, it's already at the gold
获取大宣导的情况时，看一下这边。中国科学技术大学他们的无人机推墙的速度非常快啊，看起来应该是有自瞄的。
是的，传野技术已经推掉一半的血，那么也不等他们的英雄出兵，马上就可以推掉了。
这个速度非常快啊！10 时间过去30秒，已经亏了将近1000多的血量了。
是的，来看看我们蓝方无人机的视角，立马就把对面的前哨站给拔掉了。
在差不多40秒的情况下，就已经把前哨站掉了。蓝方来说是一个但是这一边自己家的步兵机器人也是阵亡在了对方半场。
是的，刚刚有看到我们步兵机器人他想自救，但是好像并没有救起来呀。那么这样子的话，在双方数量上面是有一些缺陷了。
是的，得等复活之后再看一下能不能自救。哦，这边哨兵压得很猛。扫到了对方的英雄机器人，对方的英雄机器人眨眼间处于一个半局的状态。
是的，来看看蓝方的1号英雄机器人，随着无人机已经把对面的前哨站拔掉的话，他马上就直指对面的基地。
对，应该是有一个倍镜的。那对于蓝方的英雄来说，他的输出环境应该是比较好的了，对吧？前期红方先必须要把这个前哨站给解决掉。
而且，但是双方已经打掉了大大丸，但是这边的话，他们家的工程爆了2块大金矿给回来了。
是的，红方这边的英雄不甘示弱，在公路区隧道附近对前哨站进行一个打击。现在蓝方前哨站血量只剩100点。
Instead, the drone will be coming
他
over
们
here
是
and
已经出
hopefully
动无人
finishing
机，
it off.
是完全可以用无人机把对面前哨站给推掉的。
是的，蓝方的4号步兵刚刚复活还是残血状态，赶紧回补给去补给。这边蓝方的哨兵这边战术非常多变啊，他选择迂回了一下，再次推到了对方半场，锁定到了对方的步兵，但是自己的血量也不太健康，被起火了。
是的，那么这边的话也是由红方2辆步兵，他已经把对面的哨兵给卡死了。这个哨兵他想回去，但回不去了，也是被对面的英雄给一发大大丸给拿下。
这边蓝方的英雄不断的部署模式下狙击命中。我觉得蓝方的哨兵死在这个地方，可能对于红方来说不是一件好事儿，因为路被堵住了。
没错，在这一个非常重要的吊射点的位置就已经被堵住了，那么留给红方可以吊射位置真的是不多了。而且同时的话，蓝方的他的英雄又是买了25发大大丸来了。
但是蓝方3号步兵这边看到了对方的英雄，想要继续打，没有恋战，回到了中央高地附近。
没错，毕竟他们的任务就是给英雄创造出一个非常舒适的环境。
这里无人机开始对地面的单位进行一个打击。蓝方的4号步兵这边还是阵亡在了公路区附近啊。
没错，那么这边的话，蓝方的3号步兵也是选择打一个回退一个态势，由他们的英雄继续在部署模式下进行攻击。
我觉得如果红方想要获得这场比赛胜利，他必须要去管一下对方的英雄了，不能再放任对方这样非常肆无忌惮的吊射了。
是的，那么这边红方也是确实是在管对面的英雄，但是仅靠一台无人机是不够的，所以的话他们是准备攻防兼备，他们的英雄机器人也是正在对面进行吊射，两边正在实行互攻的一个态势。
双方的命中精度都非常高。这边红方的英雄机器人还在实行命中，但是他已经被中央高地上的3号步兵给盯上了。
是的，毕竟红方英雄的话他已经没有大大丸了，而蓝方这边的话他不但有8发大大丸，还有780的经济啊。
这一边红方4号步兵突击深入。
但是也是最后被蓝方的无人机给带走了。
这个角度非常的尴尬，很微妙的一个角度。理论上来说，这种轮子平衡我觉得是可以翻过来的，但是这个地方好像轮子已经在空转了，很难翻过来，可能需要队友去帮一下忙。而且这个地方好像更加尴尬了，红方的一台步兵和蓝方的哨兵卡在了一起，地形非常的狭窄。
是的，这么一个狭窄的地方的话，居然可以容下2辆机器人，他们就这样子卡着了。但是没有关系，由我们的英雄机器人继续开火。
我觉得对于红方来说，他们应该去找机会处理一下蓝方的1号英雄。
再次命中。
是的，蓝方的1号英雄实在是有点没有人管啊，所以可以全力的发挥。
确实找到英雄，但这边我们的4号步兵血量也不太健康。
没错，毕竟对面的话是一辆满级的3号步兵，虽然说自身也是一个满级的状态，但是自身血量真的不是特别的健康。
这个时候是红方英雄的空窗期了，他可以肆无忌惮的开始进行吊射。双方基地血量差距大概是800点，也就是3发部署模式下狙击命中的血量，对吧？
而且现在的话是已经只有2分钟左右的时间了。其实这个时间的话它不短不长，因为对于最后的反击来说的话，我们的金币它会加上去，我们部署模式弹丸它也会加上去。
双方的经济都非常的好，而且蓝方这边还是有900多块钱的经济余量。这边无人机继续对地面单位进行一个打击。红方的英雄想要冲加了，看一下来到了中央高地附近，带着24发大弹丸，蓝方能不能反应过来？攻城率先去把对方顶开。这一边想要另辟出路，还是选择绕了回去。
是 是的，那么这一边的话已经被蓝方给盯死了，但我在上半场的位置的话是蓝方是没有盯死的，那么我转身就要往上半场去。
这个时候我觉得要尽快让蓝方的英雄落位，蓝方的英雄落位之后马上部署模式去打对方的基地，扩大比分优势。这边靠大弹丸也是把对方的步兵给收下了。
没错，我的大弹丸不但可以进攻基地，我还可以对骚扰人人进行一波反击。那么又是在同一个位置，双方展开了对称的攻势。
这边无人机击打效率也是非常高的，想要借助前哨战去阻挡一下攻击的线路，还是能看到装甲板。
没错，那么也是在这么一个小小的位置，虽然说蓝方他英雄自身只有一半的血量，但我主要目的还是对轰基地。
红方这边有点没钱了，蓝方这边英雄要尽快进行吊射。血量不是很健康了，我觉得可以不用去管他，然后等会儿直接买活，这样的话不用去管对方的无人机了，让自己的击打效率高一点。
是的，那么这样子的话也是蓝方的英雄只还有40多秒时间才可以复活，但是与此同时，如果我的金币数量足够够的话，我可以直接买活。
我觉得需要买活了，变数很大。红方的英雄10几发大弹丸在中央高地附近，他是不是有机会的？
没错，那么这个时候红方他确实又展开了一波攻击呀，那么红方这边也是被对面的2号的工程机器人给拦住了，工程机器人是打开了自己的爪子，把他们给拦到另外一边。
哇，场上局势非常混乱，工程机器人以一己之力想往前去阻挡住这个大弹丸的进攻路线。
是的，两辆工程机器人他们是在互相的进行一波对空，而对面的1号英雄机器人的话却也不管这个，我就是掉你的基地，看看。
看起来时间好像不是很够了。
是的，那么让我们恭喜蓝方获得本局比赛胜利。
Wow. Colonel John says in chat that the Chinese commentary is currently available to the Twitch stream, so we should probably mute that so they can hear our beautiful voices instead.
So I do leave it on purpose, John. I'll turn it down, and I appreciate you letting me know I forgot to turn it down. It's also the game sound. I can turn it all the way off. Let us know in the comments.
Let us know. What do you prefer?
Yeah. I've turned it back down. I do apologize. I usually turn it down to about here. I left that one on. That's not bad.
That was definitely Passion's game to lose, in my opinion. That was like an interesting end of match there. I feel like they had so much, like if they had just done the VT strat, you know, let their hero get knocked out in the last 30 seconds at the enemy's side. What are they going to do afterwards anyways, right? Their own hero was knocked out, not able to really land those shots. They got more eliminations. They had like similar econ, similar damage values, and even similar projectiles fired for the 42 MMs. The standards and the drone from RoboWalker got a little bit more involved and was firing a bit more, I think, than the Passion drone, which is why we see that difference in the 17 mm shots. But yeah, Passion definitely a little bit through there, I think. A little bit. Just a tiny bit, I would say. I feel like they really should have played a little more aggressively at the last 30 seconds. We'll watch these replays and see if that confirms my suspicion. Here's Blue Standard 4. I love this play by Red Standard 4. Take the level up no matter what you can. The Blue Sentry, though, deciding to come all the way to Red's field is really funny.
Yeah, I loved the Sentry for the blue team. I was really disappointed it got stuck. I would have loved to see it continue to play it throughout the game. It was very aggressive.
Yep, 42 mm accuracy being 18.8% is not great.
That was the story of the round, 100%.
Yeah. The 42 mm accuracy was pretty lackluster, all things considered. However, like, yeah, I would say this is still the MVP. The blue hero was definitely able to get a huge lead fast, and that's all that RoboWalker needed to keep the win on Passion. Yeah. Good stuff from both teams so far. Let's see what adaptations they're gonna make in the second round. I think Passion needs to play a bit more aggressively. You have the better hero, in my opinion, so I think you should be leveraging that a bit more. I know also, though, that Sentry and that Standard getting stuck in that tunnel probably affected where they could go, made the map a little bit harder to navigate, so maybe that's what confused them. They didn't want to like risk anything if they couldn't get through to the actual enemy team. That blue hero looking us right in the face, nodding at us, letting us know that it's all good. CV tracking going.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this next round fares. Like you said, the heroes kind of hit this weird point where they stopped doing any damage for the last, almost 2 minutes of the game. Which in a 7-minute game is a ton of time, and we're talking like a 20 to 30%. Look at this Sentry. I think that's an LVDT. I think that's a linear variable displacement transducer. I'm going to scroll back just 1 second. Yeah, it's a fancy word. It's just a different way of encoding distance, right? So this rod on the left looks to me like an LVDT. Could just be a shock. That could just be a spring.
How does it end up working?
So if it was an LVDT, it would just measure displacement, which you would be able to, I mean, basically just uses a fancy motor encoder.
Gotcha, right? Gotcha. So that would be for like getting your pitch value properly.
Values, yeah.
Yep.
Could just be a shock, but a shock on the pitch also seems a little weird.
Odd. Yeah.
I feel like that might make the control tuning actually more difficult.
I would have to agree because you have to account for the spring factor then, which makes it a lot trickier. Yeah, which is part of the reason why balancing is so difficult when you do like leg balancing, right? Because it's basically like having
perhaps the shock, maybe because it's an AI, right? Because it's a completely autonomous robot, maybe it was like giving itself whiplash. Maybe it was looking up and down so fast it was actually damaging physical parts.
So they basically put like a hard stop on it. Yeah, so it has to work harder to get through those levels. Maybe. I feel like that's still a tuning thing that you should do in software though, and not try to, maybe it's a quick fix. Maybe that's probably what the answer is here. But then why go with such a strange, why go with such a strange quick fix? I feel like you could limit the pitch in other ways hardware-wise if it really needs to be that quick. Regardless,
maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe that all Sentry will be the MVP of this round, and we'll get a close-up photo of the bot.
That would be amazing. Bases are closing up. The panels are starting to move. We're referee system initializing, and we're seeing all these quotes. Chat, I do want to tell you guys, because it's kind of a funny thing as we're looking at the screen. Recently, the RMOC asked us to rewrite these quotes on the English side to be a little bit more culturally, I guess, appropriate, because there are some English ones, but to make them a little more like culturally significant. So we wrote a bunch of them, and we'll see if you guys end up liking those. Anyways, there's that blue engineer going straight back through with that swerve drive through the tunnel. Incredible engineer design. I love the engineer here.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite part of the round. You know what? Might not be. The drone for RoboWalker got robbed of the MVP position. This is so much more impressive than the hero. One of the fastest outpost takes we've seen so far.
Look at that. Oh my goodness. It's snapping like it's aimbot. Because it is.
Done. You think it is? You think they're using CV for that?
They have to be. There's no way that absolutely has to be aimbot.
The blue sentry again on the red side of the map. What the heck? This absolute menace is taking out robots left and right. Red standard 3 falls. This is the play for
Red engineer has to drop
early level advantage.
Red engineer has to drop
taken down. Red 3 taken down. Red 1 or 7. Sorry, that's their sentry. Now, Blue Standard 3 getting involved as well from that top island, doing a fair bit of damage, giving him the XP to level up. There we go. The first hero projectile landing for Team RoboWalker.
That red sentry is incredibly scary. I see why it not being a factor in that last time.
Scary,
the blue sentry was incredibly scary. I see why last round when it was out of commission because it was stuck against that wall. RoboWalker had a bit of a more difficult time.
4 making a weird choice to come across the base and get into a fight, but against level 10 standards and the scary sentry, he's taken out immediately. That was
not even a chance to survive. Red hero, however, taking some shots at the outpost, 4 more projectiles, but decides to run away because everyone decided to focus him immediately afterwards. Here comes the blue sentry again. It is essentially locked down those 2 silver cubes. The engineer cannot get to those at this point.
Oh, he's locked out of Red Standard 3. He's absolutely chilling through the base. Red Standard 3 still only level 2. We've talked about it ad nauseum for RMNA. A level 2 standard never beats a functional sentry. It's just not going to happen.
That sentry on the Blues team is so impressive. It's now on the top of the center platform.
Yeah, chat, you need to remember, not only is it auto-aiming, but it's also driving itself as Blue Standard 4. This is the balancing standard that had some issues in the last game. Playing a bit more effectively this round.
Yeah.
Still a very aggressive driver, right? Spending most of his time on the opposite side of the map. RoboWalker buying a lot of time for their hero pilot.
And they clearly need to. The hero pilot accuracy, as we saw, was pretty low. So you buying as much time, taking as much map control as possible so people can't get to your hero is really important for these. They're in the resupply zone. You cannot do anything to them anymore. You just need to go. Go away. Blue Standard 4, you've done what you need to. You're out of projectiles. Go home. Get some more.
Yeah, without projectiles. The sentry for the blue team with 55 projectiles remaining, it will be interesting to see if it's got the code and the sense and the auto driving to be able to get back to base as the blue side drone starts to chip away and cause mayhem. I love the strategy this round from RoboWalker. They're using all of their robots to just keep chaos on the red side, not let red make any progress. giving their hero plenty of time. He's missing by a mile, or she's missing. They are missing by a mile, but goodness gracious.
The linchpin to this entire strategy is definitely that sentry. That sentry being able to maneuver across the field so quickly and do so much damage so early on to basically create a completely unsurmountable level lead gives so much time for that hero to make any shot. Look at that. That red engineer even tried to grab one cube and was immediately taken out by the drone and the sentry combined. Blue Center 4, Blue Center 3 wreaking havoc currently in the red base. No one can go anywhere. They're stuck to their resupply zone. That's all they can do is just sit there and wait.
Yeah, the only exception here is the red drone, right? You can't shoot at the red drone, so it is successful in chewing through most of the outpost. 2 minutes
however, the accuracy on the red drone leaving a lot to be desired here. It's still missing those shots. Look how close it is. Now it's hitting some. It's getting there. And now it's back to missing. However, the blue outpost does go down. The problem is now, though, how do you start doing base damage if you're Passion, right? Your hero is still really low level. You only have 3 projectiles for it. Your econ is completely destroyed because your engineer got destroyed so many times over by that blue sentry. How do you come back at this point? You have 3 projectiles. You have 1 projectile. You missed the 1 projectile you had.
I got a hot take. Yes, oh, John, I wish you'd let me say my hot take before you put it in the chat, because now people won't believe me. I was about to say you need a spotter. You need to take one of your standards, just stick them where they can see, and just communicate in chat and just say you're high, you're high, you're high, you're high.
It's the vision war.
Yes, I mean, because look how these hero shots are not close.
Nope.
And they're missing the same
both
way.
Both standards are there. They could absolutely be feeding information.
It's a foot high. Oh, the scope is so blurry, so bad. It looks like he's just missing.
This is how my glasses look after like 3 months of having them.
That's what my glasses look like when I'm riding my bicycle in the rain. It's tough, right? And I understand the standards are dealing with a lot, but you don't have to go into the enemy base to be able to call this. You could stay up on the road. You could kind of call it from that center island. But I agree with John. You've got to have someone giving you some tips.
Absolutely. There goes another hero shot. We've landed another one. I'm curious to see what the accuracy will end up being here. I don't think the hero will get MVP. I really feel like that sentry should, because that sentry just demolished in the early game. It was absolutely pivotal to like keeping this lead at this point. Like Passion has like not been able to come back at all thanks to that sentry.
Drone still just staying involved. That accuracy deadly. Right, it took out the whole outpost. We just saw it chew through Red Hero 1. The second round. Looking pretty good for Robo Walker. I don't really see a way back for Passion with a minute left to play. All of their robots are such low levels. Except for Red Standard 4, who's just out gallivanting by himself with 9 projectiles left. What's he doing? Why is he on the red? Why is he on the blue side of the base?
I mean, where else is he going to be, right? 40 seconds on the clock. How else are you going to
433 gold. He could have 1,000. Well, not 1,000. He could have a ton of projectiles right now and just be, I don't know, hitting the base or taking out the blue robots, but instead, look, he has no projectiles and he's just getting killed. What's he doing? Silly gooses.
16 seconds on the clock. There really is no way back for Passion. They
Both darts are open. We are within a dart. We are within a dart window. If they landed 4 darts right now, it's Passion's game.
Yeah. But as 4 seconds are on the clock now, I don't think it's going to happen. The red hero gets knocked out as well to really cement that it's not going to happen. And Robo Walker takes the win. That sentry, that Robo Walker sentry.
Phenomenal. The sentry and the drone. Impressive. I don't even know which one you give it to. Chat, let us know. John, Red Surprise, if you're in here, give us your two cents. Who do you think the MVP was? Shaur, who do you think? You're saying Sentry?
I think the Sentry, absolutely. We've seen the Sentry get MVP before, so I know it's like a bit of a, oh, well, how could this not driven? I'm like, yeah, but there's someone who engineered that Sentry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a player on the team. It's just fully automated.
Absolutely, absolutely.
A very dominant game, right? More than double the damage. The econ was a huge part of this, 2,000 to 1,300. More than double projectiles of each type fired by Robo Walker. An absolute shutdown in the round. And you know what? I'm not going to call that a shutdown. They did get through the outpost. They were unfortunately not able to get a whole lot of damage onto the base.
Yeah. John in the chat also saying the drone. I think that's fair. I think drone or sentry both can go with it, but like, look at that! Come on, that was so cool.
Oh, look, the sentry. Look at this. Look at the drone right there. Just took out the engineer. The drone took out the outpost. The drone took out. I want to know what the KDA was for the drone. Blue standard 4.
Blue standard 4. You know what? Sure, I guess so. Why not?
They did good.
I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater by any means.
I would love a post-round, a stat screen for all of the team members. Kind of like what you get in like a League of Legends style.
That would be really nice. That sounds like really difficult to do though.
Yes, I'm not saying for RMNA this year. I'm just saying even if I could just get like a KDA, a damage dealt, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not even damage dealt. If we just get KDA, I wonder what the drones was. I mean, obviously the drone's cherry picking because it can't technically die, but the number of kills that drone had.
KA is still an interesting statistic for the robots that can't die, like the drone or the dart, right? Like I'm curious, or I guess instead of KA for the dart, it's really accuracy is what we care about, right? There are some interesting stats for each robot that we can get that's not necessarily just KDA. Like I think that a drone, the big things are going to be like accuracy, damage in general, like just how much damage is it dealing, because like output damage, for example, and then kills. Like those are the 3 things I care about from the drone. I don't really care about assists because it can just lay suppression fire anywhere. And I'm like, it'll probably assist pretty much every kill at that point. That's anywhere near the center or the opposing team side.
Hey now.
But yeah.
Some of us like to play healers in League of Legends, okay? You get an assist for just being there. You hang out.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I've played Mercy before. I understand how it works.
You were helpful.
I understand how it works. You are definitely support is a very important role in all.
And so is Bastion, right? Like if you're playing Bastion and Overwatch, they're basically the drone. You just kind of sit behind Reinhardt or whatever, and you just unload.
Yeah.
You just put it down range, and somebody will walk into it.
He got really good again recently at some point. I haven't been playing Overwatch very much, but I remember I heard someone saying that he was actually pretty solid again. And I was like, dang, that's unfortunate.
RMNA game style changing to be capture the point. We might need to play a little bit of Overwatch before.
Before we could also play Marvel Rivals. People like that game.
Could play Marvel Rivals. I have nothing against it. It's just Overwatch with a Marvel skin. It's the exact same game.
Yeah, but I like Marvel. It's fine with me. Anyways, we're on WMJ versus Helios. WMJ in the red, Helios in the blue. These are also both teams that have made it to finals before of their region. They have not made it to the actual national championship, to my understanding. Both teams pretty solid. Both teams very interesting to see them go up against each other. I'm curious what's going to end up happening. Look at that engineer. He's got the backpack. Pretty standard one. I like how they always show us the engineer from the blue side. I feel like I've seen this one. We've seen a close-up of this kind of robot every time. Paladins is a very good game, John. I agree. I think Paladins gets unnecessary hate. It's really fun. I wouldn't necessarily call it amazingly balanced, but it was fun. That's all I really care about.
You know, one thing I noticed when we were looking at that blue engineer, and I bet we'll see here on this red hero, is the moving cameras. Look at these angled flywheels from the red hero. We were discussing it earlier.
Yeah,
a lot of
probably
robots
a third one on the top as well
are showing some kind of camera that can either pop up a couple inches or tilt back a few inches. And I understand part of that is due to the size of the map, but I wonder if that is a technique that will leak its way over to RMNA, especially for the teams that are considering continuing their season in RMUC finals. This is a really big sentry for the red team. Just something to note. Not necessarily good, not necessarily bad, just very large.
Yeah. The bases are closing up. The armor panels will start to move. They'll start to move. There we go. Now they're moving. I do kind of really love the RMUC bases. I know that we used to have bases in NA, and they were more flat. They weren't having all these moving parts. There wasn't an open close. There was just a virtual shield. I really like the RMUC bases. I hope that one day we can do RMUC in NA and we can have those here. But that's for another time. Seconds on the clock are over. The match has started. We're Engineer going for the gold on the red side, blue side going for the silver instead. Alternate strategies here. If the red side is able to keep control of the center, that is better for them overall. They'll get more econ out of it, but it's a little bit riskier. As we see, blue center 3 already taking some shots at that red engineer. He's taking a bit of damage.
Yeah, but he's staying out really long enough. The red sentry's going to start chewing through him. The drone's there. He's like in a 5-to-1 situation. He's going to get a little bit of reinforcements as blue.
He's going to have to run back. There we go. He does get out from the tunnel, so he's not quite throwing at any means. Oh, the red engineer drops the cube in the corner. That's so unfortunate. As the blue drone starts to put more damage onto that engineer. Yeah, this is a good rollout for WMJ. While we were talking about those engagements, the more important one happened. The drone was actually, the hero was actually doing some damage to that outpost there. The drone also doing some supporting fire from the blue side. Helios doing a bit of damage to HMJs. WMJs. Wow, I just got every letter wrong possible today.
Blue Standard 3 pushes up, does a great job of defending their outpost, takes about that hero to half health. If he can make it out, it was totally worth it, but he's not running. He's trying to stay, and he gets in a 3v1 and is taken down. The sentry for WMJ doing a great job.
Yep. 3v1 against the standards and the sentry, and the drone also providing suppressing fire. It's really difficult to get out of that situation, but did a solid job. They've still maintained the lead here.
The blue drone, interesting choice here, playing defensively, doing a lot of damage to red standard 3. Takes him down to 1 shot. Look at his health on the top bar. Oh my goodness.
He's one tap. He's one tap. All right, we're seeing the red engineer trying to deposit this gold cube now in the corner. As the match kind of stalemates a little bit, that blue hero coming back for some more shots. Red standard 4 is going to come and approach it, try to do some damage to it. Does a lot of damage out the gate, but blue hero's gone. That blue hero moves so fast.
Yeah, it was good decision making by both teams, right? The red team did a great job pushing, and then the blue team was smart not to let their hero die. That red sentry is absolutely posted up in front of the ramp, denying access to the center island for Team Helios.
Blue standard 3 buys some more projectiles.
Blue Standard 3 chewing through Red Hero 1 once again. These teams have excellent macro, excellent map awareness. I'm really impressed by the standard of play. Red Hero 1 makes it back again. 1 shot. The blue team is just inches from a dominant performance here with 4 minutes
and 30 seconds left to go. So hard in this game, man. So far away, and all these robots are moving so fast. It's difficult to land these shots. We're seeing a health supply pack go to the Red Standard 4. It gets the health back. It's doing decently. Come to attack that blue hero. 7 shots still left in its tank. Will it be able to
check out the blue hero? He's positioned behind the carcass of the blue standard, protecting him from the red standard.
Red standard's kind of waiting in that tunnel. I'm not sure what's happened to Red Standard 4. It's just in the tunnel. Is it stuck maybe? It's not moving. If you look in that tunnel in the bottom chat. Red Standard 3, very, very low. Incredibly low.
30 hit points
still at the enemy space. Blue Standard 3 realizes that the Red Standard 3 is right there. Red Standard 3, however, gets away, doing some recon beforehand. Has a little bit of low health. A really dangerous maneuver from Red Standard 3, but now he has a lot more info. The outpost for Helios going down slowly to the hero and drone combination. The hero's coming up closer. 20 projectiles in its tank. Dangerous situation. They have a lot of control of the center.
Team Helios able to finish off the outpost of WMJ. WMJ's sentry continuing to
not far
maintain
behind.
Dominance of that central island.
One more hero shot that actually lands well, and that's going to do it right there.
The dart flies across very close for Team Helios. We'll see if they're able to make the adjustment for that second shot.
Blue hero as well, lining up the shots to start taking out the red base. There we go. 1 shot already landed. What an amazing start of accuracy. Misses the second one. That's okay.
Accuracy is going to be very important for Team Helios. They're out of projectiles, and WMJ has 22 projectiles remaining. They could just kind of put him down range here.
Yep, the red hero is also in a much better position at the moment. They have center island control, and they're not being contested at all, so they're able to do a lot. They're able to launch it a lot closer of an angle and a better angle as well. We're seeing this in the accuracy difference. 4,200, 3,900 now. Yeah, red hero just doing so much damage to that base. It's getting harder and harder to come back at this point. Somebody needs to stop him. He can't keep getting away with this.
Yeah, 8 projectiles left in the tank. The hero, the blue team did such a good job early in the game of denying access to that sniper position. But now the heroes had unfettered access, unfettered and uncontested positioning for almost 2 minutes.
Here comes a drone.
And now a remote ammo delivery to that hero brings him back up to 13 projectiles. He's going to have fired over 40 projectiles. The dart hits for 1.
That dart count for 1. That's so unfortunate.
Oh, Helios is going to rewatch this round and cry. So much of what could have been, but what it is WMJ's match.
Base opens up. And from there, it's a very quick amount of shots. 2 more shots left. It won't knock out the base.
It will be enough.
They have to land both on the top thing, though.
Nope.
Oh, they're resupplying more, actually. Never mind.
Left now.
12 shots. This hero is definitely going to knock out this base very, very soon.
We've got to call out WMJ's engineer, absolutely clearing the map. Almost 3,000 gold, allowing all of these resupplies, remote health boosts. I mean, just slapping Team Helios around with their wallet.
It kept WMJ in the match for so long. However, it's not over yet. That hero is not firing yet. It's lining up for a closer shot. This could be the little bit of momentum that's needed for Helios to come back.
He just took out like 3 bots at once. He's kind of wrecking everybody's face. He will get taken out by blue standard 3, but I mean, look, all of the blue team went down to take out 1 red standard.
The red hero is also just chilling in the blue base. They're getting some drone practice, it looks like, for accuracy. The drone firing at the base instead. Hero doing a little bit of victory laps, making sure everyone knows that WMJ's hero is on top.
You gonna try the curb? Hey.
Oh, practices the curb, doing some trick special shots for us. Just in the commentary booth, those of us at home, that's what he did for us.
He did accidentally fire when he went off the curb, but that's okay. We won't tell. There's a meme there. The drone landing shots. I mean, he's chunking away 5 damage per projectile as the entire blue team reses at about the same time. Yep. They do have 2
red
Wi-Fi
hero blocking in the blue hero.
It's a really tragic game for Team Helios. I'm excited for round 2. I still think round 2 can be very, very close.
These teams were incredibly close in the beginning. The thing that really separated them was that red engineer. I hope the red engineer gets MVP. That engineer did so well to keep the econ going. The outpost healths were both about evenly knocked out at the same time. The hero accuracy didn't look too different between the 2 teams. Red hero was able to push up a bit more because it could get those resupplies packs for ammo and for health. I think that I would be interested to see who the MVP is here. I feel like the econ differential really gives it to the engineer. But yeah, WMJ's engineer getting to the gold faster, starting them off in a better foot, having more of, like you said, slapping Helios with their wallet is just... The econ matters, guys. The econ is one of the most important parts of Robomaster, especially RMUC. If you have the econ, you have the money, you can have the projectiles, you can have the damage, you can have the eliminations, you can have the win, right?
Yeah.
It's like Yoda says.
3,000.
Money breeds projectiles. Projectiles breeds wins. Wins breed more money.
Yeah. So I also want to point out, we were talking about the team previously doing 8,000 damage with so few projectiles. The same amount of damage here, 8,800 damage, but 42 millimeters and 1,600 17s. WMJ did not have very good accuracy, but with 3,000 gold, you don't need it. The hero fired, 59 shots, and I think 50 of those were at the base, right? It's 10,000 potential damage to try and deal 5,000 actual. It wasn't accurate, but it was enough. I really was impressed with the early game. The first 2 minutes of this match is something I hope that other teams interested in going to RMUC will study and look at.
Absolutely. I think I might rewatch some of that as well. The Red Standard 4 getting the MVP here, I'm not against it by any means. 2 kills is quite a bit to do as a Red Standard. Was definitely involved in harassing the other team a lot. Dropped into the pit at that one point as well. Got the whole blue team against him and still won the entire 1v4 for the most part, losing out to the only bot that was on the defense point. I say, yeah, solid performance from Red Standard 4 for sure. I really wish the engineer got honored. The engineer is really, really good to get 3,000 cubes. Like, that's 3,000 econ is crazy from the silver and gold cubes on their side and the central point.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Really good.
And again, what Shaur was saying, I think this is one we probably won't do it on stream because I don't think y'all would be super interested. But I'm probably gonna rewatch that round on my own time.
Oh yeah.
I want to see what the engineer did. Did he counter jungle? What's the maximum amount of gold you can gain if you take every cube? What's the cap? I wonder.
Absolutely. I do like comparing the engineer kind of to like a jungler. That's an interesting way of putting it. Yes. Counter jungling. I wish they called the engineer the jungler instead of the engineer. I feel like the engineer as a name is a little bit confusing. This is a tiny side rant while we wait for the next round.
Yeah.
It's an engineering competition that has a robot type called the engineer. Surely there was a better name, right?
Surely. Wait, is this going to be 6? Look Look at the hero. Look at it. Look at it. It's got the angled flywheels. It's got the
1,
45
2,
to
3,
flywheels.
4, 5, 6 flywheels.
Potentially 6 flywheels for this blue hero.
I wish we got to see this hero in action a bit. It kept getting stuffed out by the standards early on in the game, and then obviously the econ advantage led it to having no projectiles. But I'm curious to see if we maybe get to see it a little bit more in this game. I think the only thing Helios needs to change to do well this time is like the early game, they have to be a little bit more aggressive. They started playing a little defensively at the beginning. I think they need to meet WMJ at the center. Don't let their engineer just get away for free with that much econ, because the gap they'll just slap you with their wallet. I love that phrasing, by the way. Sorry, Preston, I'm stealing that from you.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I get that, John.
Yeah, it's true. And I think at this point, though, it really is a jungler, right? Other than the fact that it doesn't do damage, it doesn't engage. But if you're familiar with like a Dota or a League, those neutral objectives, right? The gold that's available on the map that either team could take is what the engineer does.
Absolutely.
I also want to say that while I agree with you, they need to try and meet more in the middle. I think it's important to highlight that in these early stages, you won't feel the wallet impact as much. The level impact is much larger. But once everyone's level 10, the only big difference is how good your robot is mechanically and how much gold you have virtually.
That blue engineer struggling to get on the ramp because the sentry kept going back and forth.
The blue sentry can't make it up either.
The blue sentry, I think the blue sentry is meant to just stay there and kind of go back and forth oscillating. I think it's an interesting strategy there because it looks very intentional.
No way.
Right? Like,
no, he's look where his green scanning is. He's only looking towards his own base.
I guess so, actually. You know what?
Fair enough. Make it up.
Anyways, the blue engineer does make it to the top here. Really low already, though. Almost about to be taken out. Blue Standard 3 also taken out. Yeah, they didn't have enough people on the center point, and now they've given a lot of XP out to the red team WMJ here.
Pretty sure having the blue engineer is going to add to that XP pot, likely.
Oh, please, blue engineer, no. I can't believe they implemented my strategy, but poorly, and it didn't work out for them. Oh, yeah. That's a lot.
5 projectiles left. The accuracy off the freaking charts this time. He studied. He focused. He locked in. Look at that
Ultra Instinct.
Team Helios falling. The drone now helping out with.
Oh, but look at that. WMJ's outpost goes first, actually, because the blue hero was able to take it back. The blue hero was faster. Blue hero taking out the outpost, going back to get some health. Maybe this is still a winnable game, actually, for Helios. Helios is now taking the lead. If that dart lands, oh my goodness! If that dart lands.
Look at the gold difference. This is what I'm saying. Early game, Helios is totally in it because early game matters mostly about driver performance and levels. But late game, you can make up a lot of driver performance and levels with gold. 1,600 gold to 450.
Yep. That blue engineer really has to prioritize getting those silver cubes on his side. At least just give some econ to your team to work with.
Yeah, Team Helios, I mean, they still have all their silver cubes available. I'm not sure, potentially their engineer. I mean, obviously it died on the island early. Look how much better this view is. We talked about riding through the rain with our glasses on. You can see exactly where you're missing. He's able to make it. And he's got the line. I'm going to pause it one more time. Chad,
this is like the first time that
Look at this vertical line. There's one vertical line, and then there's another vertical line to the left, indicating where the barrel is firing, because the camera is offset from the barrel. This is exactly what I was saying teams should have done with their heads-up display.
Incredibly smart heads-up display here. Oh, that's such a cheap shot. The armor plate moved exactly as he shot it. It totally would have hit. Dang, the armor plate absolutely just like destroying the WMJ hero, deciding that I'm just going to move real quick. Just a quick little boop. Slide to the left.
WMJ was falling behind, but now they're
doing so much damage. Look at the accuracy. Dart lands as well. Oh my goodness. 1,400, 1,200.
This could be it. 15 projectiles left. This is more than enough.
More than enough to take it out with this accuracy. I think this is going to be it. That hero just needs to keep firing. Don't even stop. What's even the point of stopping?
2,250 gold. The only thing that's left on the map are those silver cubes. Oh, there's a gold cube left still, too. A lot of money to be had.
2 more shots will do it.
Two more projectiles, maybe 3 more from the hero for WMJ.
Yeah, see, you can't do the letters either, so that makes me feel better. Too many letters. I think 2 letters is the most you can get. We got the UW, we got the VT. WMJ is too many letters, too many syllables in those letters too. WMJ.
I wonder if WMJ is kind of waiting it out here. We saw them limit test.
Well, their hero got knocked out.
Blue standard 4 pushing. Yeah, but the armor panels are exposed. We'll see.
Yeah.
They did use this as
I think they're willing to wait for the hero to come up. They're winning already. They might just be doing some target practice with their standard, trying to keep the game a little bit longer since they have to anyways, since the hero is not there.
Red Engineer going to try and grab it from the top. Doesn't matter. Okay, yep. Helios, again, really great job of putting one standard up on that defensive position. They're able to turtle pretty well, but the turtle is not effective against the darts or those long-range hero shots, and this is not previous seasons.
Yep. Here comes another dart, though. Not quite going to land. The blue hero is in a really solid position, but only has 3 projectiles. Like, what can you really do at this point?
Nothing.
Yeah, blue hero's going to get taken out by that sentry. Has to avoid
Shaur, if you've watched earlier years of RMUC, there was a year where we talk about the Zerg rush all the time, reference from StarCraft, where you just take your 3 standards once they hit level 3 back then, the maximum level, and you just rush the base, and you melt the base immediately. Yeah.
I think they have no econ, John. None of them have any projectiles. They have no gold. Their engineer is not able to get any more. And with 2 minutes on the clock, this game is going to be over as Red Standard 4 takes out the base.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate. The engineer diff essentially was here. Jungler really did a lot here. Engineer has to get the MVP here, right? 3,000 gold again, completely by himself. He was going to the enemy team's silver cubes to pick them up because he was out of other options. Like, come on.
This is an excellent illustration as well of what happens to a lot of, let's call them entry-level international teams at RMUC.
Yeah.
The most important robot for RMUC is the engineer. None of your other bots can do anything if your engineer can't cash in cubes. Notably, the blue team not cashing in a single cube, just getting passive gold, this is not going to allow them to play the game. I mean, they're just going to run out of projectiles and run out of steam.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do want to applaud Team Helios. When they had gold, they were extremely competitive with WMJ, holding the lead at several points in time. I think if they're able to get that engineer maybe improved software-wise or hardware-wise where they can cash in cubes, they could make it a little bit farther, in my opinion, in the bracket.
Absolutely. I think, a solid engineer on their team is all they really need at this point. Their hero was doing well. It hit the outpost significantly well. They actually won the outpost fight this time. On top of that, outside of that, they just need more econ. Having the econ is all they really needed at that point. Unfortunate for them. Still not the engineer. I'll give the hero. This hero did a lot of really good accuracy shots, especially towards the end of the game.
I'm not giving it the hero. That was engineer all day.
That was the engineer all day. But I won't bash the hero by any means. Definitely second best.
Great. All of their team members did great.
Absolutely. Great matches between all teams today. Good stuff.
Yeah. We saw some really, really good strategy, some good meta. We were able to see the huge impacts of econ. Crazy drone accuracy.
Crazy drone
wild robot design. It was a good night of RMUC.
RoboWalker match with the drone on RoboWalker side. Just good stuff, dude. Good stuff.
All right, Shaur. Yeah, okay, well, yes, I agree with John. I also know so many team members that joined RoboMasters from like a Vex or a First Robotics, and the engineer, in my opinion, when I was pitching, if y'all can't tell, I like to talk. So I would be on our team's pitch team and recruitment team. So I would go to the events at A&M and sit at booths and talk to prospective students and things like that. And frequently I'd say, look, if you're interested, if you did first and you're interested in that style of robot, the engineer is a great place, right?
Yeah.
You can pick up these cubes, manipulate the cubes, put the cubes away, especially in previous years where the engineer also had to do things like go upstairs, climb a pole, like very FRC-esque tasks. And so it is a surprise to me how many RoboMasters teams kind of struggle with it. On the flip side, it is the hardest robot to test because you need to build the infrastructure, which means you also need space to kind of permanently put like a resource island. And now that the receptacle moves.
Yeah, I was going to say the receptacle is essentially another robot arm that you have to build. right? Like if you want to truly test it, I mean, you can get around it. Like at RMNA with the engineering challenge, we're doing a similar thing where we have like it's not an arm, but it is like moving parts together. It's pretty big. It's pretty beefy. You're going to have space for it. I think the biggest thing is like, the biggest thing that I think gets people in engineering is the controls, right? Because controls in FRC and controls in Robomasters, very, very different games. FRC, you have things like WPI library, you can do Java, C++, they have a Python API now. In Robomaster, you either invent it or you borrow it from another team and have to learn how it works, right? There's no one's going to handhold you through that process initially of getting the controllers there. And then the algorithms to it also, there's a lot more like involvement with like the degrees of freedom you want with that robot arm compared to like the FRC arms that people are used to making. Like maybe an FRC arm has like 2 degrees of freedom, whereas engineers in RMUC probably have closer to like what, 3, 4, maybe even 5 sometimes. Like it gets a lot trickier in my opinion. But yeah. Anyways, that's my long rant to why I think engineer FRC gets so difficult, because it's just a different kind of like ball game of how in depth you have to be with the control flow. I think the mechanics of it aren't even what get people. I think mechanically there's some really well built engineers that just don't have great controls, and it makes it a lot harder for your driver to use it. And then if it's hard for your driver to use it, you're slower. You're not able to do the cycle times you want. Congratulations, the econ's already fallen apart, and now you've lost, right? Yeah.
All right, Shaur. So here's my question of the day today. Mm-hmm. I saw that dumb robot boxing thing you sent me pop up on the WAN show with Linus Tech.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, what the heck? Why isn't Robomasters more well-known to normies? That robot boxing was so lame. Like, I get it, the robots are standing up and they're bipedal, but honestly, like, I have a couple buddies that work in the robotic, like, industrial two-legged robot space. A robot that stands up is not impressive anymore.
It's not.
Hot take, but, like, it's just kind of not from like.
It's actually kind of frustrating to look at.
Yeah. So, what gives? What I want to talk today positive thoughts, but what can we do? What's missing? Why is Robomasters not just ridiculously well known? To me, it seems like the best of both worlds. I believe that it is. So I don't get it. What's up? What gives?
Okay, I'm gonna kind of blast myself a little bit here. Because up until like yesterday, I think that what ends up happening is the media team, we have all these like ideas, we've got all the stuff we want to do. We're so bad at promoting ourselves sometimes. Like, it's true. And I hate to say this, we do the live streams. We post like maybe a clip or 2 off of one of them right after the competition's over. And then we're just gone for like 6 months in a row. And that's not how you get exposure to these things. Like, you look at that robot boxing thing, right? They have so much content out there. And that's why people see it. It's because they have content everywhere. Even if it's not good content, it's there, right? It's something you can look at.
Yeah.
And it's something that because the algorithm game is having one thing go crazy viral. And from there, you're pretty much set, right? Once you get that one thing go crazy viral, every other thing you do will feel the impact from that. And it'll keep scaling until people are like genuinely interested in what you're doing, right? I think that the reason
you say is that we need to clip farm our own channels.
Yeah, we do really need to start clip farming more. I've been thinking about this a lot more and more. I'm thinking like, yeah, part of the reason why one of the positions that I wanted to do at Robomasters this year for NA is just have someone who's sitting there with the stream on their headset doing nothing else but hitting that clip button over and over again. Just not only just like to get like clips for us to review and replay, but also to hit the clip button for Twitch to put them on Twitch clips. We can export those to YouTube Shorts, and then boom, we've got so much more content now because of that, right? I think like that's really truly what we're missing at this point. It's just like easy to watch, easy to digest content. And the last thing, Preston, and this is perhaps the biggest thing, where's our intro video, man? Nobody like who's talking about like,
and I volunteered to do that this year, and we still haven't.
Yeah, but like we messed up by not doing. That's why I'm blasting myself here, right?
Yeah,
I think that like we're a little dropping the ball because there's like on this particular regard, right? Like, you know what's crazy? We didn't have a donation link until yesterday. You couldn't donate to Robomasters until yesterday as just like a person who was interested, right? I finally added it to our link tree. Our link tree was so out of date as well. I finally updated it yesterday. Like, all these things are things that we could have incrementally done. instead of doing it all at once yesterday. But I think now we're in a much better place. We can start to like really truly focus on incrementally doing it. We've found people that are passionate about this thing in media side, like you and I. I'll give you a second. Give me one more thing to say. Sorry, I like to rant. You know me. We're ranters.
That's why I raised my hand. I wasn't trying to interrupt your rant. This was my quiet way of saying I got a thought. But keep going.
My last thing I'll say is that like I think RoboMasters is at such an interesting junction when it comes to like robotics being this cutting edge thing. Everyone wants to get in. AI, ML, all this stuff is all that everyone's ever talking about technology right now, right? We do all of it. It's all at RoboMaster, right?
Yeah.
And the other best part, it's League of Legends and Overwatch now too. It's League of Legends and Overwatch. People love League of Legends and Overwatch. They play and watch it all the time. We're at this such an interesting cross junction of that. And like we could definitely be as popular or more popular than First if we just started committing to the media stuff that they do and like the outreach and the volunteering, just like throw ourselves out there constantly. I think this will help as we get more teams in. I know Stanford recently just joined and is starting to make a team for next year. So like those kind of big names jumping in will also be really great. But yeah, that's my whole take essentially.
All right. So agree. First of all, agree. A couple caveats that I know that Shaur agrees with, but I'm just throw them out there from someone that just listened to your rant.
Yeah.
Shaur and I are we're in the boat with all of the other staff and operators and volunteers. We have full-time, very demanding, very stressful day jobs in the engineering industry that we love and also that burn us pretty hard, right?
Steven was just texting me that he is at work still, and it is 8:30 p.m.
Exactly, and that's what happened to me on Monday, right? We streamed late on Monday because I didn't get home till about 8:30. 100% understand that is a thing. So what I want to say to all like 6 of you that are watching right now, and hopefully the more of y'all that watch this in the future, maybe we clip this section. What the heck can you do to help RoboMasters get promoted to the normies, right? There's a lot of things. Number one, the easiest one to do is go give RoboMasters North America your Twitch Prime sub. I know it sounds tiny. It is $2.50. Okay? There are thousands of RMNA participants who are just chilling on their Amazon Prime student right now. 100%. Okay? If you gave RoboMaster North America your Twitch Prime sub every month for the next year, the impact would be huge, because then we could honestly help alleviate some of the burden. I'm not even talking about compensating the volunteers and the ops yet, but just remove some of the financial burden there. Or what if we just hired like a clip channel? I'm sure it's crazy cheap. You know, if we're just like, hey, find one of those dudes that just makes Ludwig clips all day, you know, and just does it.
Ludwig did stop him from making them now, so they're probably looking for work as well.
Hot take, right? So that's the number one thing I'm saying. Just go give. I know I say it all the time, but go give RoboMaster North America your Twitch Prime sub. 100%. It will help so much more than you think.
How much is a Twitch Prime sub? Like $5 or whatever? Like
we get like $250 of it.
We get like $250.
Yeah, Twitch gets like $250, and then.
Have a thing.
We get like $250.
Hold up. I made this whole thing recently about like, oh, like how much is your impact if you donate? Because at competition, we're gonna have like an actual QR code you can scan to go donate to us, because like we should, because we're running this completely volunteer free. Like we need to start to like at least invest in the community, right? Like that's the biggest thing. I want to invest back in the community that I've loved for so long and done so much with, right? Let me look at the form exactly what I wrote.
While you're doing that, I'm going to keep going with my rant, because I agree with John.
Yeah, go for it.
So John is saying that the size and the product quality from North America, both on probably, I'm going to extrapolate here, product quality both from a production standpoint and a robotic standpoint, right? If you go back and watch those early years, I was helping run production. It wasn't amazing. I was also building robots. They weren't amazing, okay? But now the robots are incredible. And the production, I feel like, has hit a point where I believe it is over there's a bar, right? There's a like a, you must make your production quality this good so that your content is watchable. And except for when Preston forgets to turn down the Chinese commentary on a video, we're over that bar, right? I was watching League of Legends today, as I do. I watch Los Ratones. It's the team that K-Drill started, right? It's the school grassroots team. They stream all their scrims. They're super open. It's like an open source League of Legends pro team. Their in-game chat and the game are off sync. by like 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
All game for 4 hours. And I watched all 4 hours of it because I don't give a crap. 3 seconds is not that big of a deal. So what I'm saying is production quality from like a production side doesn't have to be top tier to make the content crazy viewable. 563,000 people watched the last Los Ratones game and like didn't give a crap that there was an audio offset, right?
Yeah.
So 100%, I believe that this year, next year, last year, like I said at the beginning, are the heyday years for RMNA and are also the years that are really easy to promote. My last bit of my thing, because I'm sure you got your thing ready. Are you trying to share a screen? Like, did you want to share a screen?
No. I was just gonna, It was a quick thing where I was gonna say, like, I could share the screen and we could pop the link in chat and be like, donate, by the way. But I think that's a little bit, it's not the right place right now. I think we do it on the regular channel. But basically, on this, I like put like a thing that's like, if you do a monthly donation, because you're allowed to through Zephy, the app we're using, it's like, right, what is the impact, right? And just some little things are like let's say we get $25 from one person, right? That's $5 across what, 10 months? Or sorry, 5 months? $5 across 5 months. That's 5 Twitch Prime subs. You could literally like feed all our volunteers like that. That's an instant feed our volunteers. That's like getting some equipment for AV, even like some small stuff that we need. Like, we need like a new kind of like shitty headset just to have one more comment, like one more person be able to listen in on the stream. Or we need like one little thing here and there. Like it adds up so quickly. And now let's say you multiply that to 12 months. That's $60. Congratulations. I'm getting myself we can get like a stream capture card. Like that's $60. If we can find a pretty good one, we can make it work. There's a lot of cool stuff like that we could do to recenter even more on the production and more on like the volunteer side as well, and get more and more people interested in doing this kind of stuff. And it's like, that's the stuff that I feel like a Twitch Prime sub could do so much for. And it's like, not to shill ourselves. Don't like, me and Preston make $0 off of commentating. We make negative dollars even.
Negative like 3,000 this year, something like that.
We go like negative
2,500 bucks, something like that. Yeah.
And we're not going to stop going negative just because you Twitch sub to us. That money is not going to go to us at any point. It's going to go straight back into the competition, straight back into promoting it, straight back into the students, straight back into the actual like young engineers that have such bright futures ahead of them and that we want to keep promoting, right? Yep. Anyways, that's my little shill speech there.
Okay, and then the last thing that I want to say is 100% agree with you. The solution to a lot of this, well, the solution to most of this is clip flooding, which I think you and I are going to help with this year because of the rep channel, because we're going to be doing the junkyard. I know we've talked about making sure we are collecting clips, and we'll definitely be blasting those out on all the channels. And then 2, I think RoboMasters is not as popular because it's hard to understand why it's difficult.
Yeah.
Like if you show a normie, right, a non-engineer, or even just like an engineer that's never done competitive robotics before or has only done robotics with a kit, they will see that and say, oh, wow, the robots are so good. They look purchased. They look kit built. They don't look like I built this from scratch from my brain, right?
Yeah.
You don't look at the sentries and go, oh, that's driving itself and identifying other robots, deciding which team they're on, finding the part of that robot that takes damage, deciding where that's going to be in half a second when the projectile gets there, and then launching my projectiles at it, doing projectile dynamics.
Yep.
How is someone supposed to know that? They're supposed to know that because me and Shaur are going to put our brains this way, put our brains together, and we're going to build a video. We need to make that video. That video is the game changer. We're going to work on it. I promise, guys. I've got it in my head. I see what it looks like. The title, the thumbnail, something about RoboMasters, the most impressive robotics competition you've never heard of, or like the best robotics competition, or the coolest combat robotics you've never heard of, or something like that, right? And then we make a really good video, pretend that it's from a third-party source, right?
Yeah.
And then we just blast that thing everywhere. Facebook Shorts, Facebook clips, Instagram Reels, TikTok, whatever the Chinese TikTok is that we all used for like a week when TikTok got banned. Put it everywhere.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to do.
It sounds like you and I agree, and I figured that we would because we have very similar brainwaves on RoboMasters. But I threw this question of the day in there because I just that robot boxing thing being on the LTT WAN show, I was like, man, we should be blasting this to big people. I also think RoboMasters, we dream a little small sometimes. We dream huge mechanically. We dream huge engineering wise. But then, like, why not? Why haven't we sent some content to the WAN show? I bet they'd talk about it.
True.
If we made a good video explaining what the heck it is, I bet they're interested enough, they're amazed enough at some very impressive but like low-tier engineering improvements in the robotics world, that if we sent them RoboMasters content that was digestible for someone in the tech space, they would love it.
Yeah. I think the crazier part also, the thing that we really need to start highlighting is that these are college kids.
Yeah.
These are like 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, younger sometimes, who are making the most absolute breakthroughs in technology. We talk about UW a lot. I'm going to bring up one thing they're doing. They're literally on cutting edge research for particle filtering with their CV algorithms. Like, it's genuinely like they're going into research territory now because they've expanded so far into it and are doing so much of this research like by themselves that it's insane to me. It's stuff like that where I'm like, I look at the engineering behind all these robots. I talk to the CU kids when I mentor them. I talk to the NYU kids, and I'm like, you guys are so smart. I wanna highlight this better. And I feel like we Preston, we're failing the community. It's us, Preston.
No, we're gonna do it. No, we're not failing yet.
We're gonna do it.
We have been. And not from lack of effort. We've been trying. But I think the rep channel has some real potential to help. Because it puts out quantity of content without flooding the like. I'm glad we're doing both. I'm glad there's a RoboMasters North America channel that pretty much mostly puts out the competition each year. A couple podcasts, the competition, right?
Yeah.
If you're an alumni or you're a parent or you're a grandparent, right? Maybe you just want that. That's fine. And then I like that we have this kind of fan channel that's going to cover this, might cover some other stuff. Because I think if we can gather an audience, let's say competition's over. We're going to talk about this in September. But let's say then Shaur and I go on to cover combat robotics. And then Shaur and I cover grassroots esports because it's starting and is really shaking up the franchised esports world right now. And like the Valorant scandals combined with Los Ratones and combined with Double Lift also just started his own team, and like all these streamers now starting. It's changing. And so then we do some videos on esports and the dynamic shift there. And then we do some tech videos. We can
grab a little bit of everyone
that will be interested in things like RoboMasters, but don't know about it. And then boom, next May, we hit them with the RoboMasters again. It's got potential.
There are 7 people in chat right now, is what it says to me on Twitch. I'm going to ask you guys a question, or a favor, I guess, right, to help us with this. Go through some of your favorite VODs, right? We have all of them on the Twitch channel still. Go through some of them. Go to the YouTube. We have a lot of live content on there as well if you really like, I don't know where it is on the Twitch. Go to the individual matches even. Make one clip. Just one clip. Just like hit the clip button. Just clip it, put it to like 30 seconds, upload it. That's still just one clip. Like if we got like one person in chat to do a clip at competition, so like what, 12, maybe like 30, 40 people are chatting at competition at a time. If there's one of those people clipped like every hour, we would have so much content to work with. And it'd make me and Preston's life so much easier because we wouldn't have to sit down after the stream
clip so much
and go through it.
All right.
I'm excited. That's why we have a position for it.
Commentator challenge, and then we're done, Shaur, and then we're done. This was a great question of the day. I'm glad. I really like the question of the day. I'm glad it gives us something to talk about. We don't ramble all night.
Oh yeah.
Commentator challenge, media team challenge. So I'm throwing this out. I'll put it in our Discord.
Oh yeah.
It will also help our newer commentators practice. I want people to go back, find a clip of a game, commentate it in post. You can practice it. You can do as many times as you want.
Oh yeah.
I want rap god style commentating, shot calling. Just find the gnarliest 4-on-4 RoboMasters fight you can find. Commentate it as accurately as you can. Do it like 6 times. You get all the robot names right and all the projectile counts right, and you focus on the right.
You can write it out, maybe if you really need to.
Dude, yeah. And then put that clip out. Let's see who can make the sickest little edit section. It's not a compilation. It's not a clip edit, right? It's one continuous section. Whatever game you want, RMUC, RMUL, RMNA, I don't care. That's my little commentator challenge. It's June. I think that would be a lot of fun. It would also make some cool clips that we would totally use later as B-roll in other videos. Anywho, that's it.
Can I raise you one more thing? One more thing. One more even possibly more interesting challenge that we could introduce this weekend on the RMNA channel.
Whoa.
Hey, chatters in general, there's going to be an award at RMNA this year for coolest clip. If you clip something, we'll review it, and whatever the coolest clip was of either 2025 or if we want to do like previous things, I think 2025 is good of the actual stream, right? Whatever clip you make, whoever made it, that clip, if it's cool, it gets an award or something. Coolest clip of the day, even we could do, right? That way it incentivizes our chatters to do it.
Can we
Robotics and Preston? I don't think you're allowed to play. If we're giving out the award.
I don't care if you don't make me the winner. I'm gonna freaking play. I'm gonna have a clip of the day. I'm a clip of the hour.
Oh hell yeah, Preston!
Shaur,
get a clip of the hour every hour.
I don't know enough about Twitch, and I think maybe you know. I know that we can donate subs to the channel, just like randomly. Can we donate subs to a person?
Yeah, we can gift subs to a specific person.
Like, That's what a gift sub is. So we could do a clip of the day.
Oh, and then give a gift sub.
And then give a gift sub, because on the RMUC channel this year, I think we will be running ads. So make sure you use your Twitch Prime sub in RoboMaster North America. Don't use it on this channel this month. If you want to give us money in future months, go for it. We'll use it for crazy things.
We can't use it on this channel yet. We don't have.
Yeah, don't use it here. Don't use it.
You're good. Don't use it.
Go over to RoboMaster North America. Use your Twitch Prime sub this month so that you don't see ads during.
It'll be the same bank account.
If you don't want to give us your Twitch Prime sub, make the coolest clip. Win the coolest clip of the day. I will happily gift a sub to the coolest clip of the day once a day, every day of comp week. 100%.
I think that's great. I'm actually going to clip what we just said right now and then send that out into the RoboMaster channel so people see that ahead of time and are like thinking about it.
Perfect.
But yeah.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Thank you guys so much. We're getting really close. We got our own follower goal. If we can get to 50 followers, hit affiliate, then we sure will take your Twitch Prime subs. We'll be here every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday grinding it out.
As we do. Bye, guys. Thanks.